tutorial I'm going to go through how to calculate the trades going backwards, so we can look at the last year, whatever day you want to look at in the last 30 years. We can analyze and we can check what the algorithm would have performed pretty much identically, because the reason why it's so accurate is because the algorithm is very, very straightforward. It's not a complex too complex. So the first thing I'm doing here is I'm in InterTrader. So I'm using InterTrader data. You could work it out with Admiral Markets, which is probably better, slightly better, because that's more relevant, but I'm just going to work it out with InterTrader today. So the first thing you do is you go to View, Strategy Tester, and we've already imported the algorithm into the MetaTrader 4. Now, if you haven't purchased my algorithm, which is quite expensive, I was selling it at $500 as an introductory offer, and now it's around $2,000. You can rent it for a month on MQL4.com if you want, which will still be around $250 a month to rent it out. So it is a very good algorithm, so it's worth every penny, or every dollar rather. So we're in the algorithm, and this just applies for all algorithmic testing, so it's worth watching even if you don't own the algorithm. But for those who do, this is for them. So what we've got here is, let's just go over that again. So we make sure the algorithm is selected as the expert advisor. We then select Aussie dollar, and we're going to click on, it doesn't matter really what you click on, whether it's open price, control points, every tick, it works it out exactly the same. Because of the way the algorithm is, it's not affected by tick data. It'll be the same pretty much. So we're going to use open prices because the algorithm's got to do quite a lot of calculations. So then we go to expert properties, if you didn't see me click there, and then testing, and then we click short only, and we've got $10,000 virtual in the account. You can change that, but let's just keep it at 10,000. Then we go to inputs, and you see where it says 0.25, that means it risks 0.25% equity on the first trade. So what does that mean? Well, if we've got a $10,000 account, 1% of that is $100. So 0.25% is $25. So it risks $25 if it wins, and if it loses $25. That's on 10,000. So if you were testing, say, with 1,000, you'd lose $2.50 if that was able to do that. However, because of the lot sizes, so your minimum lot size is 0.01, so that means that you can only bet in that smaller, in 1/100th of an increment, 1/100th of a lot. So the first thing that you have to do is make sure that your lot size is going to be like a multiple and for it able to work. So I suggest having 10,000 in virtual mode to start with if you're running the algorithm on demo. Then you don't need to change any of the settings, but I'll just go through how it works. So 0.25 is 0.25%, and that's in volume risk. Then we have the stop loss in pips, which just means the distance away from the current price the stop loss is, and the take profit in pips, which is the take profit distance in pips. Now we want to keep them the same because we're effectively using a binary strategy. So if you've been through the binary options masterclass, you'll understand how my binary strategy works, and this will be valuable knowledge for you because you'll now see how we can use stop loss levels and take profit levels fixed as soon as the trade goes on to determine a binary outcome. And a binary outcome is when you lose £1 and you can gain £1. So it's actually better than a binary outcome because you don't gain 90p, you actually gain £1. So binary brokers usually offer a variable percentage between around 65% payout and 95% payout. Not many offer higher than 80. So it's much better than a binary strategy, and we're not timed out of it. So that's 0.25, and then we move down to 0.5, to buy and sell. That's the second trade. And then we have buy one. 52 is then just the block number. That'll bet now 1% and 1%, 2% and 2% for buy and sell, 4% and 4%, and then here, if we reset it, is 8% and 8%. So if you don't want your algorithm to start with 0.25%, say you want 0.1, you'd put 0.1 in there, 0.1 in there, and then you'd want it to go to 0.2. 0.2. So this is now what I'm doing now is I'm lowering the exposure on my trading account. I'm only ever going up to 0.8% so far. Then it goes to 1.6, 1.6, and 3.2, 3.2. And then it goes back to, and then the last one is the one it's lost more than, I think there's 6 losses there. So 1 loss, 2 loss, 3 loss, 4 loss, 5 loss, 6 loss. So once it loses 6 times in a row, it resets, and then anything, if it is losing more than 6 times in a row, it then starts betting 0.1% equity until it wins. So we rapidly reduce our risk after we go over 6 losses. Now you might think 6 losses is too many, so you could have it reduce after 5 losses. Now I wouldn't recommend going below 5 losses because it can get to 4 losses and then win on the 5th. What I'd actually do if you're finding the exposure is too much, or the lot sizes are too much, or your margin is too low, just reduce, like I've done here, to 0.1. But for illustration purposes, we're going to start off with 0.25%, and we're not going to, and we've kept it here. It doesn't go to 8%; it stays at 4. So it only goes to a maximum of 4% risk. So if you reset it, it'll go to 8. So make sure you type in 0.25 in 100 bar 106 and underneath bar 107. Okay, so we've got the algorithm set up. Now it's a Saturday, so all the spreads go really far apart on Saturday. And the reason they do this, the brokers do something to the spreads at the end of the day, and they push them out. So they're abnormally high. So we know the spread for the Aussie dollar is around 1 pip. So you type in 10 there, 10 to 15. If you've got a good broker, it should be around that. And then what we're going to do is start placing short trades from the 5th of January to the 10th of January 2016. So we type it in. So 5th to the 10th.